Alright, time to start part 4 of Void's Blitzarre Adventure. I'm Kiederen, and here we go. We're doing chapter 9 today, and probably chapter 10, depending on how long it takes and so on. Insert your own tragic backstory. So for anyone who couldn't tune in last week, I did go back and replay a few of the chapters that didn't go quite as well 2 weeks ago. So I still have Jerome, but he might as well be gone because I don't plan on using him anymore. And I do have Jay now. Jay and Betty are still alive. I managed to recruit Kristen on the chapter that I missed her in before, and in the following chapter, a troubadour named Prin joined. A nice recolored Priscilla mug there. He has Frenzy, which is interesting for a healer. I wonder if they changed what her promotion actually is. She appeared in the previous chapter holding a Knight's Crest and was upset that she couldn't use it. Stat-wise, she's pretty solid actually. Decent enough speed. Good defense for a healer. Solid strength. Very good strength. The fact that it's strength and not magic is also interesting, though I think, yeah, Betty's magic is listed as strength instead as well. While Prin is the better healer, Betty still, I'm very tempted to continue fielding Betty just for this rally spectrum. It is that good. Though, in how far that takes me, may yet to be seen. +2 to all stats will kind of start diminishing in value as all the numbers start to get a little bit higher. So I don't want to ignore Prin. I think she's going to be the better unit in the end. But I do wish I didn't have to give that up just to field her. As you can see, I only have 7 deployment slots for this chapter, so I definitely have to start getting choosy. I already benched Tam last chapter in favor of Tim, and actually now I do see that they're now the same level. So one thing I was interested in doing was comparing the two of them, kind of see which one I preferred to use moving forward, because with limited deployment slots, I can't be fielding both of them for the entire game. They fill the same role, and having both of them would be redundant. So Tam has better skill still. And better luck. However, let's see here. Tim does have the 55% growth in skill, so it should fill in over time. And I think Tim is probably going to be the better unit to continue rolling with here, mostly because this is a decision for the future, and Tim's better growth overall just kind of give him more potential, given that they're roughly the same right now. So he's going to be able to grow more and better keep up with the enemy growth, and so I think I'm going to stick with Tim. Tam will be kind of on deck. He's a very solid character right now. So if I run into a situation in the future where I might need to field an extra character, or I have the deployments option to field a better character, Tam was probably going to be the go-to character. Leroy is, I think, now sitting on the bench. Unlike typical Jagan, the starting paladins, he doesn't have the survivability to keep up with his movement, basically. Anything he might be useful, might have still been useful for at this point. Tim and Void both have, and to a slightly lesser extent, Kristen, all have similar offensive stats now. And while Void's zero luck is still a problem and she's still really fragile, the fact that she has defensive stats already makes her a better combat unit than Leroy. Basically, the only point Leroy is going to be helpful moving forward is if I absolutely need a glass cannon with 8 movement. So I'm going to bring Tim back in. Let me take a look at the actual map here before I decide between Betty and Prin. Just kind of look at some enemy stats. So far the difficulty curve has been similar to Fire Emblem 6's hard mode in that the first few chapters can be somewhat brutal, but after that it kind of evens out. This is a huge map. Alright, there's a lot going on here. I should dedicate some effort to talking about that before I start. So let me finish that other thought first. Since the difficulty curve has kind of petered off a bit, I think I'm gonna be all right benching Betty. That rally spectrum won't be as crucial as it was in previous few chapters, and I can fill that slot with someone with a horse. The extra movement and the ability to move after acting will pretty much always be a boon to any character that's capable of doing it. She does have a Voice of Peace as well as the Frenzy skill, and this is a defensive boon. It's a little awkward to use because I do have to put her within distance range of enemies that I want it to affect with this, but it'll be helpful where I can use it. Demoiselle as well also. I'm about 50% female, 50% male in the current lineup. If I don't need to steal anything from this chapter, let me just do a quick look. Then I will leave Bob behind as well. Interesting. This character was originally a mage knight in Sacred Stones. Alright. So she actually retained focus, which was a mage skill in this game, even though she is now a hero class and rocking the female hero sprite. I've always been a fan. It's only ever seen in Binding Blade V6, fortunately on a playable character. Spur speed's kind of interesting. I would say that, but no one will ever take advantage of it, so it's practically a non-factor here. Since the shape of the castle is kind of in a gate here, the only enemies that will ever take advantage of it have to be standing right in front of her, which isn't really going to happen. Anyway, that drops. Can he use that? He cannot use that, so that's just mine for when I get to him. Vulnerary isn't really worth going out of my way to steal. Other than that, I'm not seeing anything. Last week, The only thing noteworthy in the story, the fact that there was any story, and it was mostly kind of relegated to whoever made Prin's chapter actually gave her dialogue. She just kind of appears and then comments in frustration that she can't use a Knight's Crest, even though she wants to, because she's the wrong class. And then she kind of sees our group approaching and recognizes that we're not the same faction that's attacking her, so she kind of joins my group for protection. And I stole the Knight's Crest off her. It's waiting in my inventory. Not that I think I have anyone who can use it yet. Yeah, Leroy's my only cavalier slash knight, and he's already promoted. So I believe I'm going to stick with this setup. Maybe. I might actually swap out Anna for Tam, mostly because there are only a handful of axes on this map, and Anna's rather squishy. And, well, yeah, I don't want to be abusing this Lance Reaver too much, especially when I don't have to. So let me just make sure everyone's got vulnerary, and I may have a spare hand axe. Yeah. Give him a ranged option. Do I have any other hand axes? That is it. Okay, so Tim's kind of relegated to a hatchet for its remaining 2 uses. That's right, I did pick up an energy ring last chapter as well. And is there a shop? Because I only have 13 uses on that Thunder Tome. Ugh. Okay. Anti-Arch will have to be deployed cautiously, but I have a feeling I'm going to need him against the boss. For this stage of the game, these are some pretty beefy stats, especially with the gate bonus as well. Putting her at 17 defense, and if it's the hidden res value, it's probably about 16 res, 5 res instead of 3. Arch has been invaluable to me so far, just for being a tank, and he does have pretty stylish hair. With these NPCs up here primarily being threatened by swords, it's pretty easy choice to make Kristen fly up here and kind of support them. But well, we also have Edge to also help out. This is Raven's mug with very edgily chopped hair. What's your can handle the weight? He's got Wrath. That's a pretty fun one. Even better if I'm able to manage skills, though I don't think I will. A very classic combination for skill Fire Emblem games would be Wrath and Vantage, where you get your character down to a low health, Vantage starts kicking in so they get the first attack, and Wrath pumps up their crit rates to the point where any enemy that attacks them basically just gets critted before they have the opportunity to actually launch their attack. but I haven't really encountered any like skill scrolls that would allow me to assign skills, so I think I'm pretty much stuck with what every character has. Still, Wrath is a very powerful skill, if high risk, high reward, and with the killing edge, he should hold out pretty well on his own. And even better with a bit of support. So what weapon? You've got an iron sword, sword, and sword. So I will kind of need Void to take care of those Cavaliers. 8 defense. Yeah, Anna would probably only be tickling them. I might actually use Kristen and Void to take out those Cavaliers. Or Slayer, X-Reaver. And then have Void, or Kristen rescue Void and fly over these mountains to talk to Edge. Okay. I think that's the general game plan then. Do I have... Okay. Yeah, that's generally how I prefer it. Alright, here we go. So can these guys... All 3 of them can reach there. You've got 8 defense and 8 luck. 10, 13, and 13 attack. The slim sword. So I think I'm alright putting Void here, even with her luck problem. She should only be exposed to 1 attack there, and I'll even go so far as to kind of plug. Well, that only works from one way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Alright. There are mages over here. None of them have siege tomes. A random female mage with a reverse harem of other mages. Do you have the physique with not too much range? Okay, so if I put Kristen over here, I'm fairly confident she could take all 3 of those hits. Since, yeah, do 1 damage and then 3 damage each, 4 damage each. So by doing that, I actually prevent this Cavalier from reaching Void at all. And this Cavalier, if Void kills, then, let's see, 8, 7, 12. Okay, so she does double. 8, 8. Defense-wise, 20 with weapon triangle advantage. 12-ish. So I don't think she might kill, she might not. If she procs the skill, then she probably will. Either way, I think she can... We'll see if she can take that. I've thought that before, but I've underestimated her tankiness before. Or overestimated her tankiness before. See, this Cavalier has a lot of range over here, so I'm gonna bait the Axe user. I'm unfortunately going to have to give him a forest tile in order to avoid drawing the Cavaliers over there, but I can live with that. can even use Demoiselle here to give my fighters a bit of a defensive boost. Yeah, not that they were in much danger to begin with. Come on, RNG. Yes, 7 defense, or 7 damage should be fine. She actually didn't double there. Did that Cavalier jump or randomly spawn? There's a Cavalier. Oh no, that was the one that's started there. Okay, I thought that it either ambush spawned or teleported. But yeah, good it didn't. Alright, so the NPCs are just gonna stand there. They're not really doing, they're guarding the children, but they're not doing a very good job of protecting the village. But this guy is probably gonna be the one that's gonna challenge the village, threaten the village. With this knight kind of breathing down my neck here, I'm gonna have to take these guys on enemy phase again. Jay, your speed is your specialty, but you're not fast enough still. Adept, yeah. Well, if I had known that would proc. Well, can't think like that. That's there's no way I could have known. Let's see. I can actually draw that knight this way with Tim. I'll go with Tam. He's got the harder hitting. Weapon, so Dan's will do better damage on the counter attack. So that's good. Just need to get Kristen out of the way. So if I go here, prevent these Cavaliers from taking that forest tile. The pink rapier. She's a lance wielder too, which is kind of weird. They didn't change her animation or anything. Let's see. When I replayed the chapter last week with the summoner, I actually did manage to kill him, and I got the rescue staff that he dropped. And Betty didn't have a high enough staff level to use it, but Prin does, so I gave that to her in case I need it for emergencies. There's another summoner on this map too, actually. Do you have, yeah, you got phantoms. We'll see if this one actually summons. Once I can get to that village, won't have to really rush any part of the rest of the map. Oh, okay. They're being defensive. Edge's ally. Edge's ally isn't gonna make it. Aether. Yeah. This is actually the second time I've seen it proc. Alright. One of those two approaching cavaliers has a horse slayer and the other one has... Wow, those... Alright. So those mercenaries are... Aether is, I believe, like the 3DS games. So yeah, skill, half of skill percentage, but she also has Rightful King. So that's plus 10%. So with a nice 15 skill, she's looking at I believe that rounds to 17% chance of activating Aether, which is solid. But yeah, it's not like Heroes where it's got a countdown. The Axe Slayer. Gonna need to rely on Arch a bit here for the Axe Slayer, because I don't have a great answer to it. Oh, you got a Lance Reaver. That actually works in my favor. Since I have my axe users right here, ready to mess him up. They can even take the mountain. 11% chance of hitting. Yeah, I should probably do that. That's a good matchup. Alright. Can Jay kill the knight? Jay can kill the knight. Nice. Gives him some experience. Doesn't require me to use up my lances, because these soldiers are kind of pressuring the NPCs a lot, or the mercenaries are pressuring the NPCs a lot quicker than I was expecting. Since I've actually already lost probably 2 of them. Yeah. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I might go back and again do a replay of this chapter where I rush to their rescue instead. But that was entirely my fault. Can I? So this, yeah, off by 1, but 90% with a steel axe is pretty nice. I wasn't expecting his hit rate to be that high, especially with the Cavalier on a forest as well. That Horse Slayer was weighing him down pretty hard. Okay. So, alright. I'm going to trade his Iron Axe into the top slot, which equips the Iron Axe in place of the Steel Axe, just in case that Cavalier decides to kind of come down and try to mess with him. Though I think it's in the Cavalier's in retreat mode now that he's below half health. And yeah, take Void and fly off. Yeah. Yep. 1 and 2. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm gonna save any of them. Just Edge, because Edge refuses to move. He's just content to watch his charges die in front of him. So just to build his edge meter, maybe. How much? 12, 15. 6 critical and 5 critical. I have a feeling she's gonna prefer to attack one of them is going to attack the other civilian, so I should only have to deal with potentially one attack on Void. Yeah, the chapter name was Tragic Backstory. I just didn't. I suppose I wasn't expecting to watch it unfold before me. It would be kind of neat if those 3 characters had to die in order for you to recruit Edge, or if he changed depending on how many were still alive. I don't think those stats look any different, right? Not at the moment, at least. At the very least, I'll be able to talk to Edge, and I'll be able to save the village, even if I didn't save any of the kids. But yeah, if I had rushed there on the first turn, I probably could have intervened. So, you've got spur speed. I actually don't have a fantastic option for dealing with this. So I'm going to have both of my axe users are probably going to have pretty low hit rates on a sword cavalier on a fort with a weapon that definitely couldn't really weigh down anyone. Who's I think Faye in Fire Emblem 6. Has I think 2 constitution, and even she would not be weighed down by a slim sword. Let's see. Light magic is still not particularly threatening. Unless you have 0 resistance. Then 10 damage is still 10 damage. Okay then. Tim actually has a unusually high amount of resistance, so you guys can work on these. I think Tam actually had decent, yeah, 6 resistance is enough to cut both of these guys' damage in half. Tim's only going to take 1 damage from one of them and 0 damage from the other. And probably no damage if I keep Prin close for her Demoiselle. Yep. I gotta go look at those mercenary stats again, because if I recall correctly, when one of them attacked before, he did like almost no damage to them. Unless I'm remembering it wrong. I get what they were trying to do with light magic, but in practice it didn't really work out very well. they wanted like magic to be high accuracy, high crit, uh, low might. And unfortunately, the might is kind of really important. So you can't, if you do no damage, even if you crit, you still do 0 damage. So can I kill you? You only have 5 defense. I'm not sure what was that before. Maybe it was the mercenary attacking edge that I remembered. So let's see. Yep, this is edge. Par for the course still. But he joins the party. Let me give you a sword that's not a killing edge. Just so that I can be cheap like that. Level 7. Level 9, okay. Clean you up. Yeah, Kristen would not have had any problem taking on both of these guys before they got there. I probably wouldn't, I didn't even need, I could have left Void to take care of the Cavaliers. So can I do anything about you? Kind of? Not reliably. You don't, why do you not move? Why, I don't, alright. Do you move? You move. The village is the only thing to attack anyway. Brigand will wait 25 turns before enacting its wrath on the village. Come on, Jay, you need some better level ups than what you've been getting. Actually, I should give Tim the hand axe after this so that he can mop up that massive mages over here. Never thought I would be taking on mages with a fighter and it being likely to be a advantageous matchup. Come on, Tim. Could have saved that for when I actually needed it. You were going to kill anyway. I had faith in you. Indeed, the 1%. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Wow, that Brian wants nothing to do with Edge's Edge. I don't really blame him. I'm gonna turn on his animation. Let's see how eye-bleedingly awful his battle sprite is. Oh god. I was expecting this and it still hurts my eyes. Yeah, blonde Priscilla with Clarane's color palette. I guess we will wrap up with Kristen here. She's still a little bit behind on levels, at least compared to Void. She doesn't. Void's doing pretty well here at level 11. Oh, cool! I found a thing. don't know if there are any naturally pink metals. He probably had it painted, spray painted for him at Hot Topic. Do custom work. So 13, 10, 14, 10, 14. No surprise skills here. I won't have to worry about focus until I get down to the last one. I don't want to spend the hatchet like that. Not yet ready to bury the hatchet. That's a safe place. Yeah. Yeah, low percentage crits. Let's go. I'll take him here. Save uses of that hand axe. It's on its last legs already. It should be Sacred Stone's base system, so it should be 2 RN, though criticals have always been 1 RN. Alright, Patient Brigand. I'll just pincushion you for experience. Then we move out a little bit to bait the rest of the mages. With this village taken care of, I can kind of take my time with the rest of this map unless there's another surprise wave of berserkers, level 20 berserkers that appear at my rear, trying to kind of force me to play faster. I still have kind of mixed feelings about that. It was so kind of out of left field. It was effective, but kind of nonsense as well. Still hoping for a Tim Tam sport, but you're right, it could have been level 20 Berserker Dozlas. Could have been level 20 Berserker Dozlas with Siege Axes. God, that's a nightmare out of weapon randomizer. Killer Axes with 3 to 10 range. Uh, 7, 9. It's almost like a toy sword. Oh, so when you randomize Fire Emblem games, there's a universal randomizer tool now that makes it really easy. Um, one of the options you can set to randomize is to randomize the stats on weapons as well as like character classes and stuff. Character classes, base stats, growths, etc. I don't tend to mess with the weapons because it can create monstrosities like the axes I was just describing. It could make. I've seen slim swords with a 110 accuracy, 14 might, 3 to 10 range, and 20 critical. Uh, and like equipped on like half of the mercenaries in an entire map, and that's at that point it's crazy, but it's not really fun. It's just too you kind of have to abuse it in other ways to try to get through, and chances are with stuff like that, you're just gonna get RNG'd. And that's basically the same reason that Lunatic Plus Awakening was wholly unpopular. I've actually heard of Matthew's Nightmare. I've seen some of Marky Joe Rage Fest submissions, but that one is not one I think I have actually gotten around to watching yet. But it sounds like I should. Oh yeah, you are a mercenary. That means you have rally movement? No, strength. It looks like it's a movement rally based on the awakening icon, but I wouldn't want to actually play anything that was submitted to a contest that was titled Rage Fest. Okay, I gotta deal with these Peg Knights. They're nothing particularly special about them. Just gonna top off Tim and then send him in. Tim's been doing work for me. Make sure I don't wander into your range, even though Tim will probably be the best candidate to take you on. I just don't need to do that all at the same time. Okay. Can even put Tam at his back. I can pretend that they have a support. Is it weird that my fighter has good resistance and my Pegasus Knight has almost non-existent resistance? Alright, just gotta move in around that. I just remembered that I forgot to give that energy ring to someone. Who would be a good candidate for that? Anna would be good. Void's actually doing pretty alright. Jay might be a good option too. Edge looks like he's got good strength. Anti-Arch might be a decent candidate for the energy ring. Strength is Kristen's only good growth. Actually, I do want to bait that. Except is that... Yeah, that is. That is indeed summoner attack range. How much do you have? 13 and 24. (24 minus 9 is 15. That is over half my health, if it hits. 106, 39, 59. Looking at about 50% hits, so that is quite a gamble. I will not try to do that all together. Ah, why did that stop? Come on. Technical difficulties. What's going on? I don't even know if it's still recording my voice. I've been having disk issues with my right? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I've been having issues with my disk shooting up to 99% or 100% usage, and I can't pinpoint why exactly that's been happening, and it kind of locks up my computer like this. Sure, why not? I'll rally. I do not have Skype installed anymore. I actually did a clean reinstall of my system a few weeks ago. Actually, it might be about a month or so ago, and it was happening before, and it's still happening now. I actually tried defragmenting my hard drive earlier today, and it doesn't seem to have fixed it. Really, should not have done that. Well, it's not too big of a deal. Rescues are there for me. Alright, the Knight and Pegasus Knight should both be taken care of this turn. Well, you won't die, but I can finish him off with pretty much anyone. Peg Knight should be weakened, if not dead as well. Yeah, that's a dead Pegasus Knight. Hey. I don't know if I have a program called Flux on my computer that takes out the blue light from my screen, and I just realized it was on. I'm not sure if that affects the stream at all, but just in case it is, let me turn that off. Yep. The starting axe wielders that have been with me since the beginning. Oh, that was redundant. But yeah, they've been with me since the very first prologue chapter, so they've had lots of time to grow and be useful, which is a rarity for fighters. So I'm actually kind of glad that it's been a novel experience. I only have one use on the hand axe. Also have 9 resistance, but you have Tim and Tam, that's right. Anti-Arch unfortunately has weapon triangle disadvantage against these shamans though. So as much as good as his resistance is, and Tim will be probably the best option for baiting them. Level 12 already. What's your range? And you don't move. Why do you? Okay. You're literally just there for me to pick off for the purge. I mean, forest tiles on both sides. He's on a mountain, but yep, they had some fun with their naming. I've been a little sloppy about checking skills on enemies this chapter, and I'm actually glad it hasn't come back and bitten me on the butt, because that's happened plenty of times before. So let's relief and canto. Same thing, same thing. And you are an actual druid and not a summoner. With anathema, spur, death, yeah, and frenzy. Frenzy's interesting. For every 4 damage. Okay. It's the same one that Prin has. Alright. So, trade back the hatchet. I'm gonna break both of these this turn. Probably. Maybe. And yeah, right here. With Prin for Demoiselle. Sorry, Matt, this isn't Fates. No capture. Can't throw money at captured enemies. This isn't Thracia either. Thracia has an even more powerful capture mechanic. I'd at least be able to steal his equipment. But who knows? I may get my own later. It's still early in the game. Let's see, I think this was safe. Yeah. This is also threading the needle safe spot. I was hoping the summoner would attack first so that I had the hatchet hits. Unfortunately not. So now whoever attacks next is getting a hand axe, which is going to slow Tim down a little bit. Fortunately, he's nice and bulky, so it won't be by much. Alright, that... not terrible, but not what I was hoping to happen. I was hoping the summoner would come up so that I could get counterattack damage on him. And that's no longer an option because I don't have any more ranged axes. So I'm going to have to eat an attack without offering a counter. And then kill next turn. And yes, the female shaman's battle sprites. I like them mostly because they have more personality. I kind of felt that they have more personality than the male shaman sprites. The male shamans were always just the hooded cultists. Yes, shaman is a class that promotes into summoner, and there's a druid here. So there are druids and summoners both. It should have the same promotion paths as Sacred Stones. Um, Part of why I'm curious about Prin is because she was trying to use a Knight's Crest, and she has really good strength and the Frenzy skill. So curious if she actually promotes to like the Atelius style Valkyrie, where they can actually use swords and staves. Anyway, since Tim and Tam don't actually have a support, Demoiselle is the more useful skill to put in range here. What are these guys' stats? 18's hits kind of hard. Moderate speed. Slow enough that I'm probably going to double with most of my units. 9 and 10 defense is kind of sturdy, as Wyvern Knights, Dragon Knights should be. Alright, I can put Bonds in range of Tim for a little extra healing next turn if he needs it. Hopefully he doesn't. And I'll actually bring Jay a little closer as well to help out if necessary. Mostly focusing my efforts on taking out that summoner. Ouch. Yeah, that's not numbers I like to see, but alright. The anathema. The easy for me to say. This skill is kind of nasty because it takes my low luck and basically makes it even lower. And I forgot to account for it in my avoid calculation as well. Oh, this should be, yeah, not great. Yeah, that's not good, but I might open with that just to take advantage of Anti-Arch's seal speed. Excuse me. Let me see what else here. This is going to be pretty laughable too. Yep. Wow, if he hits me, she's dead. I might want to just leave you alone, actually. What's your 10 speed? Yeah, 10 speed's actually fast enough to take you out of double range for everyone except for Kirsten because of... Or Kirsten. I've been reading that wrong this whole time. Out of double range for everyone except Kirsten because she has Darting Blow. But I can't really attack with her. So yeah, I think I may just want to leave you alone. 5, 6, so... Democell lowers damage by 2, and only for male allies. I could bring in Voice of Peace, but that would still leave Kirsten in one-hit kill range at 22 damage. What turn is it? Yeah, 13. Even if I had brought Anna, her lucky 7s would have worn off by now. So here we go. I'm just gonna leave him alone and hope he leaves me alone. So let me check your range once I've moved my units out of the way. Kirsten has 2 res. 4, 5, 6. In the GBA games, some Pegasus Knights were classically mage killers, but they weren't actually always that way. So I can actually... that was unfortunately not helpful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess I can go further west with it. These forests are not slowing him down as much as I was hoping for. Alright, that should be... I can shove. Unfortunately, that puts Blitz, or Void, in range of two of the Dragon Knights. And I did not have the foresight to take the Lance Reaver off of Anna, because I could have then given it to Edge. I may have to ask Prin to take a hit. So that makes Kirsten safe. Oh, Jay is still in range. Who is the highest res? I think of my team, it would actually be Tam. With 9 res for a fighter. With only 25% growth in it too, so he's obviously been getting blessed there. Yeah. With only 6 speed, Edge won't be doubled still, so... Oh, crap. Okay. Well, that's not the rescue option. I need a different R command. That's okay, though. I'm just hoping Void doesn't get critted. This is okay. This is fine. Anti-Arch, I need to get you another tome so you can be... I don't have to be so conservative against with using you anymore. Good. That was good. Also good, the summoner doesn't move. He only moves when someone's in range, so I shouldn't have to worry about him now. I squeezed through that situation of my own creation. Nope. My average speed is around 10 or 11, probably 11-ish. You have 15 speed normally? Okay, just need to mop up the survivors. I should have let Edge kill that one actually. He did most of the work. Oh, and maybe hopefully would have gotten a better level up too. That looks like a rally speed if I've ever seen it. Yep, that's pretty good. Though I admittedly am not keen on toying with that 1% crit, since we've already seen one happen this map. Thankfully it was mine. We can do some experience management here. And Tam gets a level up out of it too. Man, his hair looks just as bad on the battle sprite as it does in the mug. Alright. So now I have to ask myself, do I want to try to tango with this druid for his purge spell? That's a no. Yeah, situationally, I had to get the archer out of the summoner's range, so I had to rescue him. He does not have anathema, so I will at least be able to maintain my avoid rates against him. See, she does not move. She does have 2 range for thanks to the rune sword and the light brands. I'm not sure which is more threatening. Gross. But seal speed would be doing work against her. I'm not quite ready to tackle her though. Keeping an eye on you. Okay. So I shouldn't have to worry about you once I keep past this fort. Oh, that is also not drop. Probably should slow down a little bit. It's a strategy game. I don't need to be making execution errors here. So you've got, aside from your crappy luck, you've got good speed. Does anti-arch get one-shotted? Is the main question here. Because if not, I definitely want to seal his speed before trying to do anything else against this guy. does not get one-shotted. Let me see what the other matchups kind of look like. You get one-shotted though. You are for sweeping in emergencies only. This is not great, but not terrible. You probably get, yeah, one-shotted. I feel like my avoid against you should be higher though. 50? 95? I guess not. 42. That's my low luck stats all going to work again, preventing me from having good avoid rates. But suppose that having higher luck values was kind of part of what made player characters so powerful in the other games. It really isn't. It's the least immediately important stats, but its importance is often understated. Kirsten is not strictly slow, but she has slow growth in her speed. It won't grow very much, so she's basically going to have to live off her high base. Her saving grace, at least at the moment, is that she has darting blow. So if I rally speed, see, I just don't think I have anyone who can safely harass this druid either. The same general problem as I was running into with the summoner. They just do too much damage, too high of a risk. I already have to deal with this. Yeah, worst case scenario, I might have to break her rune sword. I'm actually going to unequip an anti-arch here. So she does not get weapon triangle advantage. I will still seal his speed, or seal her speed next turn. She'll be down to 8 speed with rune sword. Rune sword takes itself out of the weapon triangle. It doesn't interact, even though it is technically a sword. Yeah, so I'm neutral against it. I don't do any damage there. I keep thinking her ranged staff is something other than just a rescue. Alright. Oh, forced her to switch to the light brand, so because she gets fast enough to double with it. But not only for this turn, because seal speed kicks in. Recovery through bonds. The light brand, however, does interact with the weapon triangle. So I get slightly better hit rates, but it does still target my resistance. But these become a lot less feasible. If I give you back your Thunder Tome, what does this look like? Kind of mundane, but favorable at the very least. Is anything I can see? Man, this is turning into another case like the monk boss from chapter 5. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any way I can approach this boss without some RNG risk. I could try promoting someone, I suppose. $13. I might actually have to promote Tim here. Early promote Tim just to give him enough of a boost to take her on. Alright. You can move out of the way. Heal up a bit too. And I'm gonna go hero here. Yeah, it'll help patch up his skill at the moment. I think it also gives him better res, which I do want to take advantage of that at the moment. Alright, you jump up to a C in swords, so I can actually do this. What does this look like? 0 damage. Because yeah, I'm still dealing with 17 defense and 16 resistance here. Alright, I gotta see what that looks like next turn. The hit rate's still shaky. And I'm still at significant risk for crits because of this focus skill. Well, nothing to do but I think for the sake of this stream, I'm going to use some save states here just because this is some bullshit levels of RNG that I'm kind of having to Murden. Having to kind of butt my head up against here. Do I have a Murden? Unfortunately, it's the male battle sprite for the for Selena. I wonder how much. I know it's possible to import sprites, battle sprites from a different game, but I'm not sure how much effort it is with the system that they're using here. I was hoping that would at least put some damage on them, but Edge will promote to a hero or a bow knight, not a sword master. I do have Anna as a myrmidon. Oh, that's what you meant. Yeah, myrmidon. Um, who probably should get my second hero crest just for boss killing like this. So if I unequip the thunder, will she still throw light brand at me? I can hope. I want to maintain that seal speed. Oh, you switched to the rune sword. Should be more favorable for Tim here, at least. I do have a rally attack. I don't need the rally speed. Though rally speed could get me better avoid values. So we going pretty crazy here with the rallies. Fortunately, the rune sword can't critical. But if it does hit, then I lose out a lot of damage, as it's almost healing up exactly how much I'm doing. I did just get a Master Seal as well. Oops. So I can use that as to promote someone too. Alright, let's keep going. Ow. So you're just switching back and forth between the light brand, huh? Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about that, and I kind of got distracted. There is a female battle sprite for the hero class, but it was only ever used in Fire Emblem 6, and it is not natively in the coding for the Fire Emblem 7 or 8. However, as I was saying, I do believe it is possible to import that battle sprite from 6 into 7 and 8. But I guess I don't know how much effort that would be in the system that they have they were using to make this. So I'm going to heal, do some rescue drop shenanigans, and then reapply rallies and save state and try again. Actually, I can do rallies first. Right there. Because now that she switched to her light branch, she's got 15% critical. And I've got a lower hit rates. What's your 13 con, 11 con? Good. Reapply that speed, seal speed as well. That's decent. He kind of needs those. Ah. Okay, so I need to do some rescues. What is your 6 resistance? Don't like taking Demoiselle away, but Alright, let's see how this goes. We'll probably switch to the rune sword. No, stick with the light brand, huh? I would say it'd be nice if I could crit, but I don't want to get too greedy here. And instead, I'll just say it'd be nice if I could hit. And now he's taken some pretty significant damage. 13 might. There actually is no point in healing him there. Even if she crits, he's dead even if he's at full health. If she doesn't crit, then he'll survive. However, if I initiate attack and she hits, that gives her 2 opportunities to kill me. So I'm going to leave him here. If he survives, I'll make another save state. We're up to 55 hit, and I'm still struggling to hit her. Okay, we're down to the territory where I might actually be able to bring in another character that has a better hit rate, such as Anti-Arch. I did give him his Thunder Tome back, so... Damn it. But that is another cut to his speed again. You have 15 skill. Void might be a good option here. Let me make a save state before I forget again. Could also be interesting if Void fails there, give a try with Tim because he actually has Desperation active now, which I don't think was active last time. 66. 93, but not quite strong enough, which I can actually remedy with a Rally. No nonsense skills. So there's the crit that I've been looking for. I'll take it. Being able to kill this boss without losing anyone is, I'll consider that a grand victory here. As per usual, I was dancing with much higher enemy crit rates than I've ever really comfortable with. But I made it through. I'm a little saddened that not getting criticaled is an accomplishment. Okay. I don't remember why I have that still. Oh, I think I was planning on going back. There was a village that I missed in that chapter. In which case, I think I'm okay. You're saving over here. Here you like men. Hold, there are enemies nearby. They want to impede our progress. We will show them what our army is made of. form up and prepare to advance. So yeah, this chapter title probably a Persona 4 reference. Persona 4 comic dub specifically. I'm not sure that combination of words can really be a reference to anything else. Not these days. Not in these circles. Anyway, Edge is now officially part of our group. See, shop, much needed. Where's the... Okay. It's like, I'm looking all over this map and I don't see an objective yet. That is a sniper with a face. Ooh, well, that's actually pretty solid stats. His speed is unfortunately low, but quick draw. Is this what this did? I want to say quick draw is a skill that I've encountered before, but I'm blanking on where I've seen it. I can't remember if it was Awakening, Fates, or I don't think it was Heroes. No, wait, it was Fates. Fates Archers had it. And yeah, it was damage. Which I'm not sure why quick draw increases the damage, but okay. Fates Archers had quick draw and their snipers had certain blow, and I'm not sure how I feel about them, but that being reversed in this hack. Sure shots, precision attack that always hits and does... Ooh, it's a Deadeye. That'll be fun. Sage with Adept. Starting to see promoted enemies that aren't the boss. Hey, it's Pablo, who looks like he'll be easier to deal with if only because he's not on a throne or gate. Spur speed, darting blow. Man, he has... I do not want to let him attack me because then he has 24 speed when it's attacking me. And Silver Sword's gonna hurt. Okay. Other than that, this doesn't look like a terribly difficult chapter. Once again, just kind of dealing with the boss. I was half expecting this sage to be wielding a siege tome just to make my life difficult, because I have to kind of traverse all the way around here in order to get to the boss. And that would be a prime candidate for long-range harassment. As it stands, 19, so I might be able to actually send Kirsten across and just kill the sage early, though I don't really have any reason to, or don't really have any need to do that, so at least at the moment, unless something changes when I actually get playing, I'll leave him until I have cleared enough room to have to actually deal with him. So the next question is, do I promote Anna? With 18 skill and 20 already capped speed, basically her strength and defense would be the only things I would expect to grow much by letting her go. I think I can leave her for now and then promote her later if I need to, because she just fills a very different role than Edge. Oops. Sure, I can save, but I was really going to take Tam out. I think. I probably should leave Tam in. There are no axe users here, so there is no real reason for me to bring another sword user. I didn't see any stealable items either. Nope, just a vulnerary that again isn't worth fielding. Yeah, it was on the recruitable character anyway, so I assume he's recruitable. He might just be I might be able to talk to him and he won't join me. That's always a possibility. It'd be kind of a dick move, but the precedence is there. Yeah, I have you carrying a silver bow even though you can't use it. Soon, though. Yeah, if I can get her to the boss quickly enough that Lucky Sevens is still active, Lucky Sevens plus Duelist Blow plus her speed and luck basically makes her virtually unhittable. Like she's got 72 avoid already. Actually, I should give her the energy ring if I'm going to make her my boss killer. Yep, definitely need to make a stop at that shop. Pick up another Thunder Tome and another Elfire too, just because I like its hit rate and its power. They start offering Shine in Purge. I wonder if I'm gonna get a Monk soon. The last chapter did have a Purge staff. Yuck, steel weapons. Do I need anything? I don't think I really need anything weapon-wise. I might grab a steel bow for Jay. This is his killer bow, as his only power weapon is only 3 hits left. You have 21. 21 attack. But only 11 speed. So, as long as Kirsten doesn't take more than 4 damage, she can tank a hit from him. Assuming Adept doesn't activate, at which point pretty much everyone in my army is probably screwed. Is there any way to get her to... I don't want to spend a rescue charge just to kill him on the first turn. Especially not if he moves. Probably gonna use Jay to kill the far soldier and then rescue him out of the sage's path. Tim can take the other one. Tim actually still has good resistance. give him an iron sword so he doesn't have to, or actually I can do steel. 'Cause he's got good constitution, he won't get weighed down by the steel sword. Alright. Here we go. Oh. Adept. You mean I could have used my iron bow? I have 6 uses left on this Thunder Tome. That glorious 0% chance hit. It's your range. Okay, I don't have to go far. Crap. I gotta stop doing that. Alright, 21. "21 damage against Jay, even though he has 0 resistance. He won't die to an attack unless Adept activates, at which point I'm kind of screwed anyway. How much con? 6, okay. Can I safely do that? You have to take 2 archer hits from steel bows, which, no, can't really justify putting that danger on. Can even give Jay Demoiselle. Alright, I gotta avoid talk to. Was it Samson, I think the sniper's name was. Lucky sevens. Maybe I should give her a steel sword. Whew, good. No adept. It was unlikely, but... Why do you... Oh, I was gonna say focus again. Man, focus is another one of those skills that really favors enemy characters more so than the party, because the enemy... My mages don't... My mage doesn't... Anti-arch being a bit of an oddity, but most mages aren't going to go off on their own and to the point where they can actually activate focus. But if an enemy mage gets isolated, whether I've killed off its allies or he just is alone like this, then he just gets that for free. Grumble, grumble, grumble. It's just more RNG to deal with. 9. Well, not like Tim had particularly good luck to begin with. I say that about all of my characters. That's been the continuing problem. Good, more strength. Try to get that strength up as high as it can go before I promote her. We're already kind of looking at Joshua's stats here. Actually, that strength can probably won't budge much. Joshua had 35 growth in strength, so she actually has slightly better strength growth. But we'll see. What else? 10. Actually, he can survive a crit from this, the Sage. And unfortunately, no one else can safely engage him, so I have to give him this experience. Gross. But not terrible, as this means that I can actually feed him to another character, as long as I can do enough damage. Like Kristen. That works. I did notice that Samson did not move. Unfortunately, the fact that he has a movement range still kind of makes him tricky, because he outmoves Void, unless he doesn't move, even though it claims he does. Once again, you're probably going to be relying on Tim to tank him. He's got 8 speed, so he don't have to worry about being doubled. Do have a skill percentage chance, 15% chance of just getting eviscerated from range, just cause. Incidentally, and I thought this of previous Deadeye skills, having it on a class that already has really high skill and sometimes even these accuracy increasing skills, having a skill that makes 100% accuracy is actually overkill in most situations. 15, 24 damage plus 4 because it'll be initiating. That's 28 damage, which Tim can tank. We'll keep Jay here nearby so he can help out Anna, who is effectively blocking these guys off. As long as her lucky 7s is still active with the forest tile, she should be nigh unhittable. And start bringing Tam over to support though. And Arch can just stay where he is. Not Arch. Unfortunately, this means I have to move off that forest tile in order to engage either of the archers. Especially since that mercenary didn't do me the favor of attacking and killing himself. Great. I can't kill him without you. Guess I'll just have to deal with this and then deal with the archers next turn. the archers having certain blow. Actually, I suppose that's kind of impressive that they have 20% hit with even with certain blow. Fortunately, she can take the fort's tile next turn and gain a bit extra defense. These guys, they do have the same range. I was thinking about using Arch to soften them up, so I think I will kind of move in here. Alright, let's see what you do. Demo cell's active. Kind of kite around here with... I was thinking about kiting around. Maybe I should instead give Tim a rally, just in case he has to take a hit. That gives him a bit more avoid. Alright, I need to leave her there. And then this way Tam will be able to move on any archers that attack anti-arch. Or they can just keep throwing their arrows at Anna. Because Anna can't counterattack. That's the reason they aren't going after anti-arch. Because anti-arch can, yeah. Ouch. Anti-arch can counterattack, so AI favors any opportunity to attack without dealing with a counterattack over doing damage, which it then prioritizes with no regard for hit rate. In both cases, Anna is the favorable target. Anna's actually strong enough to get a kill here, which I will gladly give her. And then... it's decent, but I wonder if I can do better. Alright, I'm not likely. Maybe he'll activate Adept like that. Just like that. Totally planned. I am a master tactician. There's just a fort up there, right? Reveal to me your secrets. Hey, are you fighting those people too? Who asks? Wait, that's not important right now. You're clearly not one of those people. I will fight alongside you for this battle. And all battles henceforth as well. Right? Right? Much needed firepower in my army. Hit rate too, thanks to certain blow. But hey, recruitment dialogue. I think maybe this was made by the same person who made Prin's chapter. That was the only other case of any actual recruitment dialogue. Crap, that's not rescue. How many times am I going to do that? If I were a bit more handy with my editing and image stuff, I'd make a accidental rally counter. I think I'm up to 3 now, if not 4. Swing your blades all you like it, Anna. You're only swiping at an after image. Rescue. and then not putting her in range of an archer. 1, 2, 3. Oh, oh, my computer locked up again. Please stand by. To be honest, I'm a little surprised this is the first week that this has happened when I've tried to stream, considering how bad it's been recently. I may have to actually bring it in to get it checked. Depends on how desperate I get and how many other options I exhaust when looking into this. So I've not been able to pinpoint anything so far. Oh, I think we're back. There we are. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Okay, so I don't think I can get into his range. Even if he had a longbow, I think he'd be off by 1. Oh, oh, okay. Jay hit level 10 and I wasn't paying attention, so he got sure shot. Okay, so certain blow or quick draw is probably the the sniper only or sniper unique skill. Ah, just barely off. You know, it'd be cool if they worked Festals into this game. The healing staves from Hoshido. I really liked the idea behind them. They were ranged, 1 to 2 range staves that healed for slightly less. 11. Oh, Vantage, right? Yeah. Alright, I'll continue giving Jay experience though. He's basically the opposite of Samson there, where Samson has no speed and fairly good everywhere else. Jay is kind of mediocre everywhere else. Yeah, but great speed. Wow, I didn't notice his skill growth was only 10. Strength is a Myrmidon level, which is passable, but I'd say that's bad, but he has certain blow, which immediately kind of negates a lot of skill deficit. Though his crit rate won't be as spectacular as it might otherwise be. 5 turns. Yeah, I'm not gonna get. Unfortunately, certain blow, not certain blow. Lucky Sevens is gonna expire before I can get Anna to the boss, so I'll have to make do without it. I'm just perpetually one point, 1 tile out of range for healing Jay like I want to. Now it's a march. Go find the rest of the enemies. Might have been a clever trap if this archer was over 1 more space, so that when you visited this house, he could attack you. I think it's just the forests just happen to be getting in the way with this movement here. Alright, well, let's see what this village, not rally. This is a text placeholder. Riveting. The house didn't close, but I can't visit again, which is good. I shouldn't. Alright, I think that's in range for the archer. Yeah. Just need to move Arch out of the way there so that I can heal Jay. Who do I actually want to kill with? Because this archer's pretty much free pickings. And since neither of these guys can go in, I want to get rid of this priest as well. Easy experience. See if he gets miracle. Nope. Hey, she got resistance. It was her lowest growth. How did she get resistance? Alright, let's give Void some experience. I just need this archer out of the way because he's actually bottlenecking me there. I used Void since she was a bit further away from where like Anna's standing. So now Anna can actually take full advantage of her movement range so that I don't slow myself down. Exciting enemy phase, I know. We need new tome. I'll even let Arch tank this wave in commemoration of getting the new tome. And what do you have? Another text placeholder with a Knight's Crest. Actually, I think I said Knight's Crest for Prin started with a Knight's Crest last time and or earlier in this part, and I think she actually had a Hero's Crest because I have 2 of those rather than a Knight's Crest. So just minor correction there. If I were playing Echoes with unlimited spell use, just limited by HP, I'd use my rescue spell to help keep these catch these lagging behind units up with the rest of the army. And there was all sorts of fun toadstool kind of slingshotting shenanigans you could do with the movement spells and echoes, because you didn't have to worry about conserving uses. I was talking about getting a steel bow, but Samson comes with a steel bow, so I'm not sure that's truly necessary. They're just waiting for me to come to them. Okay. Oh, I'm rich now. I'll pick one up in case I do get a light magic user in the near future. I'm not anywhere near close to promoting Betty, but I suppose I might be able to use the Master Seal on Prin, just at the very least to see what she promotes to. And I have no real reason I can't do that right now. I have 2 Master Seals. Oh, okay, so standard options still, which aren't bad by any means. Um, this is an interesting decision since this is not Sacred Stones. In Sacred Stones, all monster magic was dark magic, which actually made light magic more favorable. An interesting, if kind of unsustainable, uh, not exactly the optimal way of making light magic viable, but it was a way of making it more relevant. Um, and since this is not Sacred Stones, I have no idea what the enemy magic composition moving forward. So Mage Knight might actually be the better option in the future, because anima magic is weapon-wise statistically superior magic type, both in terms of it just has better power, has better weight, and um, comes with sometimes with extra effects that can be useful. So it'll be a decision I have to worry about later. I don't have to make that now. She's only level 11 still, but something that I'll have to consider soon. I should have left her a little bit closer so she can give Demoiselle to Anti-Arch. Alright, just gonna continue kiting around their range, and then I'll... That's good. Rush in and destroy them next turn. Kind of hoping for Adept there, but that's okay. Only one of them. Alright, well, Arch gets to destroy all of these. Just because I'm happy to be able to use him again. There we go. So Jay can use the silver bow now, which is pretty hype. What's your... He actually has a better weapon level than Samson now. So this is a somewhat unfortunate stat spread. Growth spread, I should say. His bases are actually kind of decent, as I mentioned before, aside from speed. His speed growth is low, but not non-existent at least. I have a feeling I'm going to stick with Jay for now, just because Jay has slightly better growth potential. If he gets the stats that he's got high growths in, then he will be a more viable character than Samson. Samson essentially growth-wise looks like he turns into a single-hit nuke. So he hits once for high damage, and that's good in heroes. It has its uses in heroes. I wouldn't say necessarily good, but it's viable in heroes, and it's a bit less helpful in the actual GBA games and most of the core main mothership titles, if I am to borrow some phrasing from the Tales series. Like in Heroes, having low speed does make you more vulnerable on defense. So I actually kind of like that. He's only doing just enough to get them down to low health. Oh, I should have given you your axe. How many? 91 with weapon triangle advantage, unless I give her the Lance Reaver. It's 9 weight, 5 con. That slows you down by 4. Let's see, so she's got 5 defense, 4 defense against you, 13 damage, 10 damage, 23. That is unfortunately exactly enough damage to kill her. And I don't think I have any defensive buffs that I can apply to a female character. So unfortunately I gotta go with you. Not that that was strictly necessary, but... Alright, then just bring everyone else close. I don't need to rally. Rest in peace, Thundertome. You served me well. Wow, 100% enemy hit. Not terribly surprising given the matchup, but still doesn't happen all that often. Got 43 avoid. You know, basically all of his avoid has been countered by certain blow. Alright, just kind of looking at some levels here, see who, because this is some easy experience to feed to whoever I want. And I need some more. And do I have Steel Sword I can give her? I do. Pretty good hit chance still. And just enough power to kill. Give Kirsten some more experience too. And I want to give Jay a kill too, as well. Huh. That is interesting. Oh, okay. So his movement arrow was acting kind of strangely here, and was wondering if that was just like a glitch with my system, or if my disk was acting up again. It's actually because the game hack that uses a system very similar to the 3DS games. It adapted one of the features where instead of picking your units and then picking their location and then choosing their action, you can actually pick, and let me see, make some space here. You can actually pick your units and then go right on to picking an enemy or an ally, and you will move in and then give the option to default to attack, which is the same way that the 3DS games handled the attack and movement interface. And it also works for allies if you wanted to do like a rescue or a trade or something. So that's, but in order for that to be a viable move, you need to actually have a space adjacent to the target within your character's movement range, and then the arrow will adapt to accommodate that. It's part of why you couldn't pair up two units in Fates or Awakening if the target unit was surrounded on all sides by either other units or like walls or obstacles. You actually had to have a adjacent space open in order for a pair up to work, in order to command a pair up in Awakening and Fates. So yeah, like that I can go in and heal. It's not quite as smooth a transition as the 3DS games managed to make it, but it is an impressive adaptation. Very much like the danger zone that I've been doing in these hacks. If you press select, you actually bring up all of the targetable area by all enemies. Unfortunately, there's no way to make it stay on the map when you click on other units, but it's a feature that has virtually become standard at this point in most modern hacks. Same thing with the ability to toggle growth rates on the status screen that I've shown a few times here. Hitting select on the stat screen switches between the character's stats and their growths. And that's just a really cool quality of life feature. Oops. No, I do not need to turn on sticky keys because I have my shift key as my select button. I don't generally hit it that often. But it's a cool quality of life feature that I'm glad has become the standard in the modern hacks. It is actually not in the 3DS games, and is one of the few things that these hacks are doing that's handled graphically and user interface wise that does it better than the 3DS games. I'd be interested in seeing how the 3DS games implemented something similar. Let me see here. You're still level 10. I can actually get you close enough. Just because the way that the status screens have been updated in the 3DS games, the Awakening status screen looks very dramatically different than the Fates one, and that looks different from Echoes. There's not a lot of real estate to play with there, so there are toggle buttons in all of those games. So perhaps they could swap out toggling like the simple mode, which most of the time I don't think very many. I suppose I don't know for sure how many people actually use the simple mode, how many casual players would use it, or because for me it's never been a useful option. I like having all of the numbers available to me so that I know exactly what's going to happen. Because in a strategy game with permadeath, surprises are rarely welcome. most bad surprises are never welcome. That was an unfortunate sentence, and I'm not going to try to rephrase. Moving on. 9 resistance, 10 damage. I can drop that to 8 and keep him. Okay. So Arch is going to bait the Sage. Oops. There we are. With Demoiselle backing him so that he only takes 8 damage. And even if Focus gives him a crit, he has enough HP to survive. And I'm going to rescue Void here, just because Samson has 1 point of extra movement. It'll just be a way to catch her up a little bit faster. And Tam can come in as for support. Oh, apparently I didn't have to worry about Focus. Which is a little strange, actually. I'm not sure why that's not nuking up his crit rate more. He's got 11 skill, so base critical is half your skill, just flat. So it's 5. Yeah, he's got 15. Alright. Anti-Arch's luck is actually that good. I have gotten so used to assuming that my units have such crappy luck that criticals are a problem. I'm pleasantly surprised. That was a good surprise. Keep feeding Anna some more experience here. Maybe. If he didn't have that critical, I'd definitely go for it. See that critical being a problem. Man, this is even with Demoiselle. This is acceptable. So even if he crits me, he won't kill me. And the only way I'm going to kill him is if I critical with only a 1%, which has already happened once this stream, but my goal here is I want to feed him the Sage's experience to Jay, because Jay is currently the one kind of lagging behind the rest of the team the most. Alright, that's a pretty typical Jay level up based on his growths. All that's left is the boss. Let's see what Anna's matchup against him looks like. Oh, rally when I meant rescue. Counters up to at least 4 now. This time at least it was didn't really do anything. You don't move, right? I probably should have reconfirmed that before I started engaging. Oh. Actually, you don't move and you don't have a ranged weapon, which means you're going to get peppered to death. I don't even have to engage you. Unless you decide to suddenly start moving. Which I did have happen in a different hack. There was a knight that had 0 movement, dashed out just like this, that actually started moving. Yeah, I will see what I can do with Anna, because I... 27, 21, so she can survive a hit. If he initiates... yeah. So, assuming Steel's speed is not active, which it will never not be active now that I know he doesn't have a ranged weapon, but if it weren't active and Anna got attacked on enemy phase, this boss actually would be fast enough to double her. Fortunately, that's not the case, but I do need to make sure I don't equip anything. See, that's good hit rates. Anna, giving Anna the kill here should not be a problem at all. Don't want to burn too much on the killing edge. There's a nice hit rate. Oh right, I need to put his animations on. I'm kind of tempted to use both Jay and Samson, but at the moment the deployment options are too limited to justify that. But I do admittedly have this irrational love for archers and snipers. I just really like their animations in the GBA games. So it's definitely tempting to try using them more. I wish I could use more of them in the 3DS games aside from Echoes. They just suffer from archer problems, and balancing in Fates at least is kind of a problem. Let me soften you up a bit more. If I can get you into Iron Sword range, then that's nice, reliable, 99% hit. Though I'm gonna feed Prin a little bit of experience first, just because I can. Okay. So I now remember this feature from the patch, the hack notes. There's a feature that they added in here where killing blows on bosses will play the critical animation, just for like flashiness, just for aesthetics. It's kind of a fun, neat little thing that they added in. But that explains why I apparently got a 0% crit to beat records with the 1% crits, but not really. Phew, that was a tough battle, but we got through it all the same. Alright everyone, it's time to go. Demon King won't slay himself. You're going to slay the Demon King? Samson? Yes, that's the plan. I see. In that case, allow me to join you and add my bow to this cause. You would help us? Really? Of course. I hate the Demon King as much as you do. I wish to have a hand in bringing about his end. Well, I don't see why not. Welcome aboard, Samson. That's more characterization than any of the characters I've gotten so far. I sure hope he doesn't betray me later. Factory Gold. I'll take a quick look at this map, but otherwise I'm done for tonight. Now that's about the same amount of setup as usual. It's an indoor map with enemy journeyman. And finally a reason to field my thief, who hopefully has enough speed. Maybe I should not have neglected him as much as I have. He does. I will try to make sure he gets more experience this chapter, because I don't need him falling behind. But yeah, steal that dragon shield. Hope he doesn't get one-shotted by this extremely buff journeyman. It's 15 strength and 38 HP. Wow. He's not a recruitable either. He's got a poison axe. Another chapter where I'm split from the start is also interesting. Droppable Nosferatu is good. Droppable longbows also welcome. Silver Lance toting enemies already. Let's see, we are on chapter 11. Pre-promoted enemies and, well, not on this chapter. Let's see, a female Myrmidon amongst the enemies, but she doesn't have a portrait, so probably not interacting with her. Monster, huh? With quite an arsenal here. He is going to be a pain in the ass to kill. Because I am looking at 15 defense plus 3 is 18 plus natural cover. He's got 21 defense. And if assuming the thrown bonus is actually 5 resistance instead of 3, which I think I've encountered before, he has 19 resistance. And Frenzy, yeah. Well, considering my healer is the only one of my units that has Frenzy, I have yet to really experiment with it. But that could be an interesting skill. Right, I don't see any other faced units. This archer has 2 ballista right to himself. And he's got a Master Seal that I also need to steal. Which, considering his placement, I'm not in any, there's no risk of me accidentally killing him before I get there, but though that might have been an option if I had gone back and actually replayed the chapter I was intending on replaying. The Port of Bad also had a droppable ballista that I could have gotten had I not ended the chapter early by accident. Luna with Sacred Stone stats, so it's got lousy hit. But pretty stacked casters here. Well, their weapons are good. They have 3rd tier weapons, but their stats are low overall. Stat-wise, this should be one of the easier chapters by the looks of things. Aside from this random journeyman that's really buff. Just why? I don't know. A lot of open space, not a ton of cover, but there is some. I'm curious. There's two staircases, probably means reinforcements. Droppable physique is welcome. Wow, there's a lot of stuff here. Siege Tome, but he's also carrying an elixir, which means I want to steal that off of him. Fenrir packs a lot of punch too. Just by itself, it's 15 might. If I didn't care about the elixir, then I could kill him over the wall for this goddess icon. With the longbow that I get off this guy, potentially, hopefully. How sturdy is he? 2 defense, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. Eclipse is a nice starter siege tome for introducing players to Siege Tomes. It kind of looks more threatening than it actually is. But it helps teach the player to be wary of Siege Tomes. At least that they're there. See a bunch of, well, I guess there's a whole bunch of them in here. I was going to say there are a bunch of off tiles that just seem kind of randomly placed around, and I wonder, they might be switches of some kind. Though the bunch that are in here don't really make as much sense to that degree. It'd be interesting if there were traps. Anyway, that's that. If I get some time before next week, I will try to replay some of the past chapters, kind of see what I missed. Depending on what's in there, what kind of rewards that I missed, though, I may end up just sticking with this file and the progression that I've been showing. If it's something really game-changing, I might go with the other one if that happens. But we'll see. It, again, may depend on time. Overall, the army is looking kind of interesting. I've still don't have too many options for a lot of class roles. I only have one flyer. Only have one magic attacker. I do now have 2 swords, aside from Leroy and Bob. Bob was technically a sword user too, but that's more well-rounded in growth than the colors imply, but they're still not great and kind of low to begin with. But Tim's been promoted, kind of by necessity at the time. We will see how he keeps up from here. I did not need to promote Anna last chapter, but I am strongly considering doing it soon because her primary growth skill and speed are capped, meaning that they won't grow any more, and level ups for her up until I promote her will probably be sparse in terms of gains. She's not likely to get much defense. She's not probably not going to get much resistance. She might get strength because 40%'s pretty respectable. Does she need it? Having 13 strength already? Probably not. I've promoted sword masters that have 13 base strength, and it goes up to, I think they gain 1 or 2, so 14 or 15 for a sword master is actually pretty decent. Most of their damage comes from double attacks and crits, and the fact that they're fast enough that you can give them heavier weapons, and they're not slowed down below a dangerous threshold in using them. So I won't hesitate to promote her if I run into a situation where I need her to have a little more power, need her to have a little more survivability. The promotional gains for strength and defense and HP especially would probably make more of a difference than letting her level a few more levels. It would also help her get towards the promoted class skills faster as well, now that I think about it. Though promoted unit experience gain is probably still on the low side, considering Tim went through an entire chapter and gained 75 experience. Though he only saw a little bit of important combat, but only a little bit of it. So we'll see. Considering this is since there aren't grinding options, the idea of promoting early is a lot more welcome because it's not explicitly implied that you're missing out on stats because if you can't grind for it, there's no guarantee you'll get there anyway. So, all right, that's all for this week. Thanks for joining, and hopefully see you guys next week.